Hi, I'm Jerry Tribatuski. I am with the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers. I am the chairman of our carving show coming up in September 1920 of this year.
Good afternoon. My name is Ron O'Cray, and I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers. I have been the past chairman of our show. This year, Wisconsin River Woodcarvers has joined with Caricature Carvers of America to produce what we hope is a great show. We will have the largest show in the state of Wisconsin. It will be September 19th and 20th, held at the Holiday Inn in Stevens Point. And welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers. Today is Saturday, the 17th of January, 2026. And we appreciate you, as always, coming in and joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Today in our meeting, we have some special guests and a woodcarving show that we want to talk to you about. We're going to be talking about the Wisconsin River Woodcarver Show, and the CCA competition is going to be in conjunction with that show this year. So we'll get into all of that here in just a few minutes. Before we get started with that, I'll tell you a little bit about our lineup that's coming up as far as our schedule goes. Next week, we've got Barry Bowers that's going to be coming in, and I saw Barry on the meeting here just a few minutes ago. Barry wants to discuss about starting a woodcarving club in your area. So we're going to have kind of a discussion to talk about, ideas about clubs, how other people have done it, what needs to be done, whether you want it formal or informal. So that should be a good conversation for anybody who is either in a club and wants to grow their club or wants to start a club because you don't have one in your area. So tune in next Saturday for that. On the 31st, Catherine Overcash is coming back with us. She started a wood spirit and cottonwood bark back a few months ago. Catherine's going to come back and finish that up. She wanted to come in and show some details and stuff that she does in cottonwood bark, so we look forward to having her. On the 7th of February, Sarah Bearclaw is going to come in. She's going to do a demonstration for us. Again, she was the second presenter that we had when we started these meetings many years ago, and she hasn't been back on with us, so we look forward to having her back. On the 7th of March, Rod Gatlin's going to be coming in from the Charlotte Woodcarving Show. He's going to talk about their show that's coming up in April. And on the 14th of March, I'll be up with Bob Hershey and some of the other guys here. Jim Heiser, I saw was in, and a few others, at the Lancaster County Woodcarvers Show in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So we'll be broadcasting live from up there. We'll tell you all about what's going on at that show. So if you can't join us up there, and hopefully you can come up and join us, but if not, tune in on that Saturday and you can see what all that show's about. So look forward to that. Before we get started, want to go ahead and turn it over to Dave Stetson, who does our words of wisdom. Dave, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Hey, thanks, Blake. Mistakes in wood carving. They're not failures. They're invitations to discover new possibilities that you never considered.
All right, Dave, thank you for that. So again, on with us today, coming to us from the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers up in Wisconsin, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. We've got Jerry Tribatuski and Ron O'Cray that's going to be joining us. They're going to tell us a lot about their show, what all's going to be going on that weekend. That show is going to be September the 19th and 20th. Some of the CCA members are here in the meeting. We'll be talking a little bit about what our part is going to be in that show. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to Jerry and Ron, and we look forward to hearing what you have to share with us.
Outstanding. I am Jerry Tribatuski. I am the chair of the show. This is my second year chairing the show. Ron O'Cray here with me has chaired the show probably for 100 years. Super expert. So he's mentoring me and an awesome member. I am a retired school teacher, and I taught tech ed for a lot of years, and I've always enjoyed teaching. I've taught a lot of carving, just to kids, to groups of kids, to adults, different organizations, Sons of Norway organizations and the like, and I never get tired of that. And I've always enjoyed going to carving shows, and I know what I like to see at carving shows, and I know what takes me to carving shows. So when I got involved with this carving show again, I knew what used to be. And when I was part of the club in the past, or when I would attend as a non-member, now having retired from teaching, being a member and chair of the show, I know where I would like to see it go. And I think Ron and I are perfectly aligned in goals for the show. I like to see vendors. I mean, number one, I want to see beautiful artwork. And last year at our show, I've never seen so much beautiful carving artwork. I mean, Ron's been trying to talk me into becoming a judge after looking at our judging room last year. There's no way I'm going to be a judge. I can't imagine the stress of trying to figure that stuff out. We had great stuff. But the other super important thing, I want to see vendors. And we have an incredible list of vendors. I mean, I'm the type of person that when I go to a show, I want to be able to buy stuff. I have a laundry list of things I want to look for, whether it's knives, tools, carving gloves, power tools, equipment, bits, just things that you can't find anywhere else other than order catalogs. And now we got order catalog people coming to our show, and you can actually pick it up and feel it. And we'll talk more on our vendors and who's coming, but we got an incredible, outstanding show coming up. And now when the CCA came on board with us, it's like, this is probably going to be the best show ever. And I don't know how we're going to top it in 27. I guess I'll have to worry about that now. But anyway, Ron, you talk for a while.
Okay. This is our 22nd annual woodcarving show in there. When I took over as show chairman of this show in here, we had 42 tables, and they were 6-foot tables, and we were cramped into a different hotel, and we had growing pains. And right now we've got space for 146 8-foot tables at the Holiday Inn Expo Center in Stevens Point. We use every bit of space that they have over there. It's a beautiful facility, the lighting, acoustics, the layout that we have for that. We make it very much handicap accessible, and like I said, largest show in the state of Wisconsin. And we've managed to keep our admission to $5 per person if you're over the age of 12. And last year we had over 1,000 paid admission at our show, and that was from coming back from not having a show for 3 years, and was really good. And we were very pleased when CCA contacted us and said they wanted to join forces with us. And so, like I said, we've got some growing pains in there. Last year we had a carving contest in here. This year the Caricature Carvers of America are going to have a carving contest. And one of the things we did in here, every year we look at our competition categories and how many carvings that we had in competition. And the rooms that we had in competition last year, we had so many carved pieces in there that it was amazing. And the quality of workmanship was in there. But we also discovered that there were things that we never had reptiles. Last year we had turtles and lizards and things like that. And so, well, where do we do it? So this year we increased our competition categories to 41 different categories. And we have 2 youth categories, and then we have our novice category. We have an intermediate, and then we have an advanced. So in the novice, intermediate, and advanced, there's 41 different categories in each one of those. And last year we used 6 judges at our show. This year we're going to use 6 judges again. We try to get the judging done as quickly as possible so we can get the pieces back to the carvers that can have them out on their table. Let's see what else in here. We have available at our show in there. We have room, like I said, I think earlier I said 146 tables in there. We're 2/3 sold out. We got about 47 tables to sell to be sold out for this show, be completely sold out for that. And this is amazing. I'm really happy the way this is going in here.
And we're more than 6 months away from the show.
Yeah.
And we're 2/3 sold out.
Right.
It's like, wow. Okay.
So Jerry talked about a lot of vendors in here. I've got 14 different people that have signed up as vendors. We started out with we got Badger State Blades. They're a local manufacturer of carving knives and gouges out of Wisconsin Rapids. Chief Books, Dunkel Knives, John Engler's is vendor. Jim Hart is a wood vendor. Karen Henderson, of those of you that know her, she is the spoon lady that we call her because she's always had all the different spoons and hardwoods in wood. Helvey Knives will be there. Last Breath Woodwork. Last year we opened up our competition to turners and woodworkers, and there's there if you come to our show in there, talk to Last Breath Woodwork and find out where their name came from. I won't reveal that now, but just talk to them, and it's an interesting story in there. Floyd Radigan will be with us as a vendor. Fred and Elaine Stenman, they are relief carvers. Nancy Burke from Western Woodcarvers, making of the Burke sharpener. Rich Weatherby will be one of our vendors. Willock Woodcarving out of Rochester, Minnesota. And a new one for us this year is Windy Cape Studios out of Pennsylvania. And they are more woodworking things that he makes rather than wood carvings, but a welcome addition to our show. Anything else you want to add right at the moment?
No, I'm just drawing up my shopping list, honestly.
Okay. With the Caricature Carvers coming with us in here, okay. We will have our competition in there. The Caricature Carvers America will also have their competition. You can enter into both of the competitions, but you can't enter the same piece in both competitions. So that's something new this year. CCA will have a silent auction. They will be putting on our demonstrations at our show. We do not have that exactly who's going to be doing what demonstration and what time yet. And they have a whittling contest, and I'll let the CCA talk more about that. Also, at our show, prior to our show, we have a 4-day seminar with John Engler, and it's a 3-day painting or 3-day carving and one day painting with John, and that is the week prior to the show. But sorry to say that class is completely filled up already. Now, the CCA will be having their seminar, a 3-day seminar, after our show. And again, we're kind of waiting on some more information for them before we start advertising that.
You mentioned that whittling contest. And I think of myself, I would have been kind of intimidated. I'm not going to do a whittling contest, especially when I look at the competition we had in it this last year. I mean, professional wood carving instructor extraordinaire up against a whole bunch of other carvers, including relatively new, only been carving a couple of years carver. And they all got their block of wood, which in this case was probably like 3 by 5 by 3, thereabouts. And the professional carver extraordinaire did really well, but he didn't win the competition. It was the newest carver in the group won that competition, and it was just neat. And I bring that story up because there's probably people watching right now thinking, yeah, I'm going to come to the show, but no way am I going to enter in that competition. I say, enter, have fun with it, enjoy it. You might really surprise yourself. Anyway, that's enough on that.
One of the other things that's going to be on there, we're going to have 2 pieces. The CCA did what they call the 1930s street scene a number of years back. I don't remember exactly how many years back, but one of the people that's coming to our show in there owns 2 of those pieces after they auction them off. And we're going to have those there. We consider that historical significance. And so looking forward to seeing that. And we have carving clubs from Wisconsin right now. We have the Capital Area Carvers of Wisconsin. They're out of the Madison area. They'll be there with their own table, in their club people. Western Wisconsin Woodcarvers Guild out of the Eau Claire, Wisconsin will be there. Wausau area Woodcarvers will be there. And we encourage the carving clubs to come there. And we also, we really encourage the novice carvers in there, okay? And we tell them to join together with other novices, have a table, get into the competition in there. To me, the competition is the best part of the whole competition thing, whether you're rimming or not, is come and have the judge personally critique your piece when you're done. And we do that. And I know when I learn a lot from listening to other people. So.
And I would agree with that. It's another Me being the introvert that I am, I've avoided ever having a table at a carving show until a couple of years ago. Avoided competitions because my stuff was never good enough. And it just turned on a whole bunch of light switches the first time I entered a competition. And actually, I won ribbons the first time I entered. And then I entered another one and didn't win ribbons, but all the same, it's addictive. And it is, I don't know, I hate to say just plain fun, but it is just plain fun. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of anything. I mean, when you come to our judging area, it'll probably be Greg Wirtz there taking in prizes with somebody helping him, and he's full of information. And anybody working our show is full of information, but talk about what you want to enter. Ask what category it would best fit into. Get some advice from the person running the intake. Talk to other carvers. Get some advice. This is the friendliest group of people I've ever seen in such a large group of people. Everybody's willing to help. Everybody's willing to offer tips and tricks. And yeah, now I'm venturing off into that. What our show has done just this last year, having come back, prior to coming back, I was teaching tech ed in Amherst. Now, Amherst is about 15 miles away from Stevens Point, and the show had not taken place when I started teaching in Amherst for a year and then 2 years. And I had these kids coming up to me. These are freshmen in high school, eighth graders, sophomores, and they're saying, "Hey, Trev," that's what they call me, Trev. "Hey, Trev, you ever been to that carving show in Stevens Point?" And they would talk and tell me all about it. And then I'd say, "Yeah, I've been there, but tell me more." And they were excited about it. These kids that got to go with their dads, with their grandparents or whoever. And the excitement was there. And that's what when I retired from teaching, I talked to Ron and said, "Hey, Ron, what would it take to bring our show back? I mean, there is so much interest." And well, he told me, and here we are. So we're back. But what else it's done for us? I mean, just yesterday, I have to bring this up to the club and our club president, but just yesterday I was contacted by a YMCA summer camp. Is there anything our club can do to help their camp programs and get kids involved with carving? I've got 3 4-H groups local here that personally I'm going to be working with. The club has worked with 2 different 4-H groups. We got an event coming up with a 4-H group. We've worked with a couple different groups of homeschoolers. All of this basically as a result of the show and the publicity from the show and everybody talking about our carving clubs and what they've seen out there. Beginning Carvers, we have 2 meeting places for our club, the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers. We meet in Wisconsin Rapids weekly, and twice a month we meet in Stevens Point. And that used to be in Stevens Point prior to this last show. It'd be Ron and myself and 1, maybe 2 other people, and we just get together and carve. After the show, it says we need a bigger room. We went from 2 to 3 people to 16 to 21 people coming. We've got the last time we met, I had 2 fathers with their sons and their sons' friends. So we had 4 kids, 2 fathers, never carved before, came to learn to carve. And Ron and I are outfitted with tools and safety equipment and wood, and we got them started carving. And we have 2 women that started with us shortly after the show, just because they were excited about it and excited about what they saw and what they heard. And Stevens Point is a university town. Ron has taught and mentored for probably 6 months now at six college students.
Eight. We started. It was kind of interesting. We had at the show a woman came up to me, and she was a senior at the UWSP, and she was interested in carving. And we sat and talked for a while, whatever, and told her about when we started and whatever else. Well, she came and she brought her roommate, and then she brought another friend along, and pretty soon we had 8 UWSP students that were there, and we have some candid pictures that were one of our other members took that night when we were carving in there. These kids they're 22 years old, okay, but they were so intent in the carving in there, and really, like I said, I really like to see that. And for me, the biggest thrill right now is to take one of my students wins a ribbon. That to me is the saying, hey, you come a long ways, I just really enjoy it. We're having a lot of fun. Our club is growing, and our club is not just local. I mean, I know we got people from as far away as Kansas that belong to our club. We don't see them, but maybe once a year. But we do have a large club, and it keeps growing. And how many members you got?
Hey, Ron,
We have
go ahead. I'm sorry.
In 2025, we had 105 memberships in the club, and a membership includes carver and spouse. Not in some of them, like I said, there's a husband and wife both carve. Some of them is just just a guy. Some was just the women carve, whatever else. But we get together twice a year. We just had our Christmas party last Wednesday, a get together, which is nice, where we all can get together, and we'll do a summer picnic in there. And like Jerry was talking about, we're going to do this one for 41 4-H students coming up here on February 9th. And I said, I want at least 10 volunteers to come in there, because I want one instructor per minimum of 4 people in there. Well, we got 11 signed up already for that, just to help out. Our people are used to volunteering, are used to helping out. Like at the show last year when we set up in there, they said, Jerry and I were there at about 7:30 in the morning on Friday. And we told people that, start, if you arrive about 11 o'clock, because we wanted to make sure everything was laid out. Because the Holiday Inn set up all our tables and make sure everything was laid out according to the drawing that we had. And then we got people in there. We had so many volunteers that showed up. It was unreal. It's just like, okay, Ron, what do you want me to do next? And it wasn't long, and we were completely set up. We started taking carvings into competition early on Friday, and everything just went really, really smooth, because, like I said, we have a very active club.
Hey, Ron, quick question, and just for clarification, do you have to have a table to be able to compete in the competition?
You have, for the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers, yes, you have to have a table to be into competition. I know CCA is different, but for our part of it, yes, you do have to have a table.
So it's really important. If somebody wants to compete, they need to go ahead and try to get that application turned in.
It is because, like I said, we're at 47. We're at 47 tables left to sell, to be sold out. From past experience, I know that we will have some cancellations. I know last year tables canceled because of weddings, and also because of the age of our most of the people in here. We had some that were like for medical reasons or whatever else. So we will have cancellations. We will have a waiting list for it. But like I said, right now 47's a number, and I mean, I had 2 calls before I started this meeting here today about questions about our show.
So if CCA, this is just for clarification for everybody, since the CCA and you guys, it's the same show but split shows, and your requirement for being able to enter carvings is to have a table. CCA, would you guys speak to that for just a second, of what it's going to be for the CCA side and how that will be different?
I'll see if Kevin, do you want to speak to that?
I just want to make sure we're clear.
Not really.
No, okay. Well, never mind. Kevin don't want to talk, so.
Our competition is going to be the same as it always has. We'll have you'll have to enter them on Friday afternoon or first thing Saturday morning, and then they'll be judged, and the competition display will be up in, I think we're going to have a little bit of a separate room where the CCA display is, and the competition will be in there. And while I'm chatting, Ron's already touched on it a little bit, but I just want to go over a couple of things that we're doing and sort of the reason why we made the decision to do what we're doing. Selfishly, our show was great in Colorado Springs. However, it was really just working our members to death. We weren't able to do the things that we did as CCA. We weren't able to have any fellowship, any time with the other members, because we were constantly working. So we came up with the idea of, can we take the best aspects of our show, the things that everybody loved and complimented in Colorado Springs, and then go other places like we used to do to have better exposure so everybody around the country gets a chance to be exposed and to get to the competition and all of those things. So the things we're taking with us are a lot, but still going to be less stressful for the members and less work on the members. So we'll have more time to uh, actually, spend time and hang out with each other, which was kind of lost in the last few years. We're going to have that world champion whittling competition, which we're toying. We might change the rules a little bit this year. We're thinking about giving a little bit extra time instead of an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Get everybody to slow down a little bit, calm down, and not work so hard at cutting themselves and do a better carving, a little safer. We'll have the carving school after the 3 days after the show, which has been extremely successful. And I believe this year the instructors are Jim Heiser, Terry Moss, and Rich Weatherby. So that'll be great. We just finalized the dates and costs and locations and all of instructors, all of the things that go into that. In the next week or two, I expect that we'll be advertising that and have the Eventbrite link up so that you can sign up for that. We've already talked about the competition. We'll have a CCA display like we always do when we've traveled, and like we had in Colorado. We'll do some demos. We're going to actually have a book signing this year. We'll have the book release of whatever, Splitting Hairs or whatever we named it. All of this is off the top of my head, so I'm trying to remember. So we will actually do a book signing like we did actually the last time we were in Stevens Point, so that'll be fun. Silent auction has always been really successful for us. It's been a lot of fun, so that's another thing we're going to bring. I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But we're bringing a lot with us, so it'll be a little bit different than when we've been at shows in the past. And it'll be a little bit different than our show. But we're really looking forward to it, and we think we're going to be able to reach a lot more people. And we're excited to partner with Wisconsin River. They've been very helpful.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. And I'll throw in a pitch here. Kevin's been working with Bob Hershey to try to get all this lined up for the CCA. Kevin's the president of the club. Bob's the secretary, and they've both been working really hard with Ron and Jerry to try to make this partnership work. We appreciate you all and your willingness to host us and us come in conjunction with you all to be able to have our competition. So I appreciate that. I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you all and let you continue on.
Oh, we had when the CCA first came here in 2015. I know we worked for about 2 years to get to know CCA members and to get them to come here, and we had a great time at that time. And then in 2019, you guys were here, and it took a lot less work to get you to come back in here, and we're really looking forward to having the CCA here in 26. It's going to make our show. And again, to talk a little bit about it, if you're from different parts of the country and you're listening to this and you don't know where we are, Stevens Point, Wisconsin is about in the middle of the state in there. We are right on Interstate 39, and the Holiday Inn where this is held at is only 3 stoplights east of Interstate 39. So easy traveling from whatever part of the country that you come to our show.
So, a question in the chat: when will the non-CCA competition categories be posted? Do y'all have that listed out somewhere?
They should be on our website right now. I did some work on the judging on the rules for judging for our show, and I got those completed and I sent them to our webmaster yesterday. They should be on our website right now, and if they're not, they'll be there tomorrow. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
All right, and Your all show runs Saturday to Sunday. What are the check-in times for carvings? Do y'all have that listed out yet?
What we're gonna do in here, okay? We set up on Friday, started Friday morning in there, okay? We plan on having all of our work done at about 2:30 in the afternoon. We're gonna allow people to start setting up their tables if you are an exhibitor in there. And our rules always said as soon as Greg Wirtz, our club president, has got his table set up, he'll start taking carvings in competition, and I'll say 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. And we'll go from 3:30 on Friday afternoon till about 8 o'clock Friday night. We'll take carvings in competition, and starting at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning. They have to be in the carving room at 8:45. If there's a line yet, whoever's in the line at 8:45, of course, we'll allow them in there. And then the judging will start at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. And like I said, with the 6 judges, we hope to get that done. Well, we know we'll get a lot better done than we did a couple of years ago when we only had 2 judges. So,
another couple of questions. If somebody gets a table and maybe they're not even going to plan on competing in the competition, but they want to have a table, is it okay for them to sell rough outs and their own things, their carvings and things there, or what's your rules on that?
the rules on that, if you're selling something at your table, it must be something that you made yourself. Like with the people that will be selling rough outs in there, for example, I use Floyd Radigan, okay, CCA member. He will have his rough outs for sale on there. Those are things that basically he created. So yes, okay.
Yeah.
I think your rule is, or the rule is 60% of the table has to be carvings.
Right. That's one thing we say. We will allow people to put other things on there. You know, if you didn't have enough stuff, we would say, well, you could put other things on your table, but your table has to be at least 60% full of wood carvings in there. So
I don't sell any of my carvings, but my wife likes to attend the shows with me, and she's a knitter. So she takes about 30% of my table and puts out some knitting, and she makes enough money on her knitting to pay for my table at the show and then some. So it's kind of neat. It gives her something to do sitting with me. And it's amazing the number of people that come up and talk to her about knitting, and just as many that talk to me about carving. So yeah, bring your spouse and you put some other stuff on the table, or if you make some things or have some rough outs, put them out there.
And to confirm, and there's a question in the chat about the dates. The dates are set. They're September the 19th and 20th. Those aren't going to change at this point. At this point, that's the dates.
oh no, we got to sign the signed contract for that. Those are the dates. Saturday hours 9 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Sunday is 9 to 4. Saturday night we will have a banquet in there that's open to any carvers that want to go to it. We are finalizing the menu on that. That will be on our website, but that is not complete at this time in there. We will have a large raffle. We were able to put this show on only income from 2 things. One is from people coming in the door, paying the admission, and the second is a raffle. And we had over 100 different items on our raffle last year in there. A lot of one-of-a-kind stuff in there. I mean, there were some things that we had books, we had knives, carvings. We even had a Christmas tree that was completely decorated with handmade Christmas ornaments in there, and so a lot of things along that way. And again, we hope the CCA will donate things to help us with our raffle in there. So
we've had companies donate some really nice prizes to us too.
We do.
What was the brand on that wood burner?
Oh, we had a razor. We gave away a razor tip wood burner last year. So that's an expensive piece of equipment. I don't have a list in front of me of exactly what we had, but
there was some power carving equipment. So
right.
I mean, very nice knives. But several of our
Fordham, those kind of things. Yes. Yeah.
So another question: how do you determine if somebody should enter their pieces as intermediate or advanced, do you have certain rules that you go by as to what category they put in?
Yes, we do. Okay. Our rules state in there, okay, that if you're a novice carver in there and you have not won 6 blue ribbons in the novice category or a best of show in novice, then like I said, you can be in the novice. You start out in there. I had a lady call me today and she said, I've been carving for 20 years, but I've never entered a competition. Where do I go? And I said, well, that's up to you. You know, you determine what you are. I said, because you've never been in a competition before, and the way our rules state, you could actually enter the novice. But you say you've been carving for 20 years, you know, whatever else, you maybe belong in the advance. But once you move up, say you went into advance, you cannot go backwards. And it's the same thing with moving up to the intermediate. If you win, like I said, if you win 6 blue ribbons, you move up to the intermediate. In intermediate, if you win 6 in intermediate, 6 blue, or a best of show in intermediate, then you're automatically in the advanced. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and just a statement for clarification, CCA members are not able to compete in the CCA competition, but they are able to compete in your all's competition. Is that correct or not?
As long as they have a table.
Okay. Correct.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What questions we have another question here in the chat from a vendor. So this is for a vendor. Can they submit advertisements so that you all can put that on your show website? And that's a vendor.
I guess what I have more questions involved in that. Okay. On the vendor, what is the vendor selling? Is it wood carving related? That person, whoever that person is, would probably be better to just call me or Jerry, and we'll discuss it in more details.
Okay.
We don't
another
have
question.
We don't have a show website per se. We have our club website and we have our club group Facebook page. And have a conversation with us and don't have a problem putting it on like the Facebook page and the like. And we're going to be talking on the radio again this year, several programs and advertising. And I like to mention vendors and stuff and talk about that. So yeah, find out, have the person contact us and we'll figure something out.
Okay. And I've been talking to Taylor earlier today, or actually earlier this week, I guess. What would you recommend for a new person that's never attended a wood carving show? What advice do you have for a first timer on how they can get the most out of a show? They want to compete, but maybe not this time. What would you recommend that they do as far as or take in and participate in while they're there this time?
So this member will be having a table or just attending?
No, I think just attending. And so it's somebody that's never attended a show and they don't really know what to expect. And they want to get the most out of it so that, again, we can have them as repeat customers and come back and participate the next time in the competition.
Well, the first thing, and we'll have posted on our website, I'll have posted on the Facebook page, our demonstrators. And look for anything that you might be interested in watching for demonstrations. If I had never attended a show before and was just starting out in carving, the quality of demonstrators we had last year, I wouldn't have missed a single one. I would have attended both days just to attend all of those. So that would be huge. Number 2, talk to carvers. And carvers like to talk. Just, listen to Ron and I. We love to talk. And they'll share everything. If you see something interesting at a table, don't be intimidated. Have a conversation. Ask questions. Bring some of your own stuff with you. Carry it in a bag or do whatever you do and say, hey, here's what I do and talk about it. That's my comments.
I would say the same thing. I when I'm at the show there for the 2 days in there, I talk constantly and people come up to me and ask questions and you want to tell me and say, well, what do you need to get started in there? Okay, whatever else. And if person had never carved before in there, okay, I'm very adamant about safety. Okay, and that first thing I tell them is that you need a glove, you need a thumb guard, and you need a knife. Okay, and I said you're at the best place that you can be. go try on a glove. Find a glove that fits you right. Okay, you can, and then take a knife. Okay, whatever else. And if you are between, what do I do? Which one do I want? What do I want here? I said, come get me. I said, I'll walk with you over here. I'll look at you. I'll tell you. You know, you look at it. You tell the person with small hands doesn't want something with a long handle, and vice versa. You know, and I always tell people that if they're just starting out, inch and a half blade. Don't go any longer than an inch and a half blade. And I've read this in a lot of books, and I do a lot of reading, a lot of magazines. I say that's good because it's easy enough for that person to control. Those are the kind of things. But I get, like Jerry said, just ask questions. Carvers, they, like Jerry said, they like to talk, and they'll tell you all about exactly how to do it, how to get started. I have usually on my table in there, because I do teach beginning and novice, I'll have things that's showing how you go from a piece of wood to a finished product. Show them, you know, that kind of things.
One more thing on that topic too. When you do come to the show, it might be easy to become intimidated. And I mean, I've seen that in the club scenarios where a person will walk in never having carved before, and they look at people carving, and you'll see in front of a person $2,000 worth of carving tools when they're working on a little project, and they're using a few of them at a time. And a person looks at that and said, wow, I mean, I'm going to have to invest a lot of money to get started in carving. And that's not the case at all. I mean, you have to start somewhere. And when I start people, I try to start them with a general purpose Sloyd style knife, or just a flat, I call it my flat plane knife, and a green piece of wood. Just peel the bark off of that piece of wood, skinny it down, make a little handle, and in an hour, we got a Harry Potter wand. We used one knife. They learned how to use a leather strop. I mean, that's all a person needs is a knife, a strop, and some compound, and you're carving. And hang out with people and learn how to carve what you want to carve with that. And then you just start building your collection of tools and the like. The point is, don't be intimidated by the quality of what you see at the show. Just learn from it and be inspired by it. And know that you can go to one of these vendors and leave with the tool or tools that you need to get started, and it's not going to break the bank.
Well, it helps for them to be able to go in and look around at the categories also and see maybe what it is that they're interested in carving, so that they know what they can submit pieces into. And it'll be a benefit to have the CCA competition there as well, so they can see that side of it. But there's a number of different types of carving that they'll see there, and it introduces them to all different types. So I think that'll be the best bet, is for them just to walk around, like you said, talk to people, take everything in, watch the demonstrations, watch the whittling competition, talk to the vendors, and buy some supplies and get started.
Yep.
So
And if a person wants to taste, wants to see what happens at our show, I mean, if they're considering making a big trip and driving a long ways to come, and they're wondering if it's worth it, go to our website, and I believe it's still posted there. A person, Ron, what was his name, did a video. He didn't even know he was doing
Russell Scott.
Russell Scott. He walked around, spent both days at the show, had a video camera, and just shot video, and then edited it, put it all together, and put it out on YouTube. And it's a nice video, and it shows what our show looked like last year. So yeah, you should be able to find the link on our website to that and view that YouTube if you're interested.
quickly, what's admission for? Is it a single day admission, double day admission, or what is you charging for?
We only do a single day admission. Admission is $5, and 12 and under are free. And so, like I said, if you come 2 days, you got to pay both days in there. But we keep our admission rates low enough.
Awesome. Thank you.
So what other questions do we have from the audience? Anybody have any questions about what they will see or what they can do at the show?
I guess we're good. All right.
Do y'all want to show a little bit of the work that you all do, so that they'll know kind of what they'll see there?
Well, I'm one of those carvers that started out like 30, 40 years ago trying to figure out how to carve. When I was a kid, I wanted to carve. Nobody in this area, there were no carving clubs. There's nobody to teach me. Grandpa always claimed he could teach me to make a whistle, and he never did. So I bought a book, and I carved my very first, actually, this one's very first thing, this mountain man, from this book that I bought more than 30 years ago. It's ugly, and I didn't know what basswood was. I figured I just needed a chunk of wood. So I went to the garage, got a chunk of 2x4, and I made him. And I said, I didn't like him, so I made him. I didn't like him, so I stuck them in a drawer. And somehow I found them, and I never did get rid of them. And then my very first duck, and I'm showing these because, the new carvers out there, I'm proud of it. It's my first duck. I mean, it doesn't look like a duck. I mean, it looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but it's a bird. And that's where I started, but I was frustrated with that. And I bought a Wayne Barton book, and I learned how to draw designs on a flat piece of wood and chip carve. And that was my first success. I really did some nice chip carving, but then I got kind of bored with chip carving, and then some light started to come on, and I took my first flat plane caricature carving class down in Decorah, Iowa, and I started carving caricature, and that was a lot of fun, and I started seeing real success. I mean, when you take a class, you're working with an expert, and you're working with other people in the class, and you're motivated, and you're there for 7 or 8 hours, and the next day 7 or 8 hours, and you leave with a finished product that you can keep carving from. Well, then I got addicted to classes, and now I'm carving acanthus and dragon style. I'm a Scandinavian guy, so I do a lot of Scandinavian carving, and then I take that into teaching. But I'm working on painting now. I'm learning to paint oil. I have a shrink box that I made, so it's like I have a good supply of basswood now up in my carving studio attic, but I could always use more. But it's expensive, and I'm thinking, well, I want to figure out how to do things more of a Sloyd aspect, more of a Scandinavian aspect. So the neighbors cut down a basswood tree last winter, and I threw a log over my shoulder and snuck it home and cut it into chunks and skinned the bark and sapwood off, and I hollowed it out on the inside, and I did it traditional with a hand drill and chisels and mallets, and made my tube. And then I cut a slot in the bottom of it, put a dry piece of wood in the bottom, and set it aside and let it dry for about 3 weeks. And I had a container, a traditional Scandinavian container. And it's called a shrink box. And then I put my design on it, and I did my acanthus carving. And this is, I used somebody else's design, but it didn't quite fit. And, I used Adobe Illustrator a little bit to work it up. And I did some hand drawing on the wood, and got my design carved into it. So now I got a base layer of paint, and I'm learning to oil paint. I mean, it's always a learning process. And if you're bored with something or want to try something new, find somebody to teach you. And I found a rose mauling expert that rose mauls and paints carvings, and she's teaching me. So I got my base coat. When she gets back from her trip in Florida, we're going to start adding color and brighten this thing up. And I got another dragon piece behind me that I'm doing the same thing. So it's like my carving, that old cliche, jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, that's me. If I would just pick one style and go with it, I'd probably get really, really good. But I'm the type that has to keep changing things up and exploring and just enjoy carving. I'm not a person who's trying to make money or make a living or sell my pieces. I'm just enjoying the heck out of it and teaching other people to enjoy it as well. So that's where I'm at, Ron.
Okay. My specialty is, like I said, beginning and novice carving in here. And I have a number of these things made up in here, and I'll start people out with the candy cane in here. Everybody knows what a candy cane looks like, and I can teach them 2 cuts. I mean, I do the paring cut, I do the push cut in here, and we go from there and get this rounded to look like a candy cane, and then the sanding process, and getting into the painting process, and I've got we can finish them different ways, different colors. Some of them you'll see will have a groove in here, whatever else. Okay. But every time that I've taught this in here to a person that has never carved before, okay, I've been able to get them from this cutout blank to step number 2 in 2 hours. And so I like doing that those kind of things. And like I said, we progressed through a number of different designs like I have in here. This one in here is one call for starting on here. It turns out to be a clownfish in the end in here. Okay. And when I start, go ahead.
It was down too low. I got to hold it up so you can see it.
Okay. Anyhow, so I'll give them a block that I've cut out on a bandsaw in here. And then the first step on here is to put all their lines in there. Okay. And then we progress through all of the different steps in here. And we'll end up with a nice little clownfish in here that, for a novice carver in here. And again, we do inset fins in there. There are a couple other projects that we'll do in between there, but this gives you some idea on, what I like to do. And I love teaching, taking a person that's never done that anything before. Little story in here. I had a guy came to me who was 87 years old, had never carved before, and he wanted to carve. And after we did a few basic things, I said, "What do you want to do?" He said, "I want to carve a hammer." Okay. And he was a retired carpenter. So I went home, and this is an exact copy of one that's hanging in my shop at home, the hammer in here, made out of butternut. And Ken and I carved a claw hammer. And Ken was so happy. Everybody come to his place. "I got to show you my hammer. I got to show you my hammer," whatever else. Okay. Well, that kind of led me to continue on along those lines in there. This is one of my later ones in here, Body Man's hammer. And if anybody that's ever done body work, you see that there are many different kinds of hammers to pound out dents in cars and things like that, So I've done that. And then, of course, you got to get moved down a little bit more in here. Now, here's one that you can see in here, a pair of salad tongs moving in here, movable wood joint in here, useful, to be used in here, something like that. I do all kinds of tools in here. Here's a pair of 7-inch Wiss tin snips. And a person came up to me at the show and says, "Hey, will that cut?" I said, "I don't know. Let's try it." Well, it won't cut metal, but it does cut cardstock. So, and again, I've got a wooden pin in here for bearing and stuff like this, whatever. So, Prove it. Okay. There you go.
Works.
It works. So anyhow,
hold it up a little higher and do that again.
What's
Ron,
that?
hold that up just a little bit higher and do it again so we can see it on camera.
All right. So what we're going to do in here is we're taking.
Oh, we got to hold it higher.
Higher? Okay.
There we go.
So what are you stropping that with? No, good job, man.
Yeah, this is an interesting piece to do in here, because if you look at it, you see all the different angles that are in here, and the two sides of it are actually identical. Okay, and but to get this all to mesh and be able to cut, it took a little bit in there. Okay, and again, of course, we got to have it's wood, so I mean, I've got a wooden bearing in here in the center on there also. But that has led to, I mean, I've got a whole plastic tote of just tools in there now. And then it keeps going on there. And then people say, "Hey, have you done a hammer like this?" And I say, "No, I have not." "Well, you want to borrow mine?" And so that's where I get a lot of my ideas. And I probably got, I don't know, at least 8 different kind of bodywork hammers. And then you go into a farrier's hammer, electrician's hammer, and bricklayers and miners, and it just goes on and on and on. So, but like I said, that's something different that I do. That I only know actually one other carver that carves tools.
You're the first I've ever known.
So I'm on, like I said, that's it. So that's, like I said, I'm kind of like different that way.
One other question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
How much is a table? So for members or non-members, how much is the charge?
Okay, for if you're a member, you belong to the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers in here, your cost of your table is $35. If you are a non-member, we charge you $40. Okay.
And I know some people like to support the clubs by becoming a member, even though they're not in the area and can participate. Is that okay?
That is fine. Like I said, we have members from all over the Midwest. Okay, and our dues are $24 a year. When they started this club in 1995, before I was carving, they set their dues at $24, and they've stayed there, and we've managed to continue and not have to raise that in there. And so you support that. You get our newsletter. You get 10 newsletters a year. You find out what's going on in here. We have usually about 3 different seminars where we bring in somebody from outside the area. Starting out this year, we'll have Jan Jensen of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and she will be talking about old style chip carving. Okay. And then we have Floyd Radigan, CCA member, that'll be coming in doing a 3-day class at April 28th, 29th, and 30th. Then we have John Engler coming in the week prior to the show. But like I mentioned before, in there, the Engler class is full. If a person wanted to put their name on a waiting list, I do not have anybody on a waiting list right now for the Engler class. But like I said, we do a lot of we do a lot of things. I've been the carving community since I've joined. I've met so many nice people, and having a lot of new friends.
These carving classes are fun. I can't recommend them enough. And I've taken probably 30 classes. I'm sure Ron's taken tons more.
I'm over 90 classes. I'm a guy who keeps records of everything, and I got a record that I've taken over 90 different classes with instructors all over the country.
Wapaka, Wisconsin is about 35 miles from Stevens Point, and they have a club, and Ron and I both joined that club too now, and because we went there this last fall and took a class with Rick Weatherby, and what an incredibly good time. I've taken class with Floyd Radigan. I've taken other classes, but just taking a class for the new carvers out there, sign up for one, take one, and just enjoy it. Don't be intimidated. Learn, and it cuts. If you want to be a carver and you want to carve caricature, and you're monkeying around with a book, I mean, YouTube is great. I love watching YouTube videos and duplicating what I see there. But when you're in person and you have somebody like Rick will grab your piece and carve the left side of a face for you, or if the right side is easier, he'll carve that side. I'm just teasing you, Rick. Anyway, but he'll carve that left side, and then you go back to your chair and duplicate what he did and carve the right side, and then leave with another one of his rough outs and go home and practice. And it's a great time. It's a great experience. It's a great way to learn.
All right, guys. Well, we're coming up on an hour. So I will go ahead and stop you at this point. I don't see any other questions that are in the chat. I just want to say thank you both for coming on and presenting, and for everybody that's on today. And when we post the video, people will hear this. We're actually going to have them back on June the 6th to kind of give an update and tell everybody where we are as far as preparing for the show. So they're going to be coming back talking more about it, and we'll advertise and things like that. So should be a great time to get together and make plans to go ahead and get up there. Just want to remind you all, as usual, we will be doing advertising throughout the year on social media. So if you'll pay attention to Facebook or Instagram or both, we'll periodically put things out about the carving competition, the demonstrations, any of the displays and things like that we're going to be doing. Watch for those advertisements. The first one's going to be the School of Caricature Carving. We're waiting on that link. As soon as we get that link so people can start signing up for that, I'll get all that information out, and I'll also be sending it up to to Jerry and Ron so that they can share that with their group up there so that people can get signed up if they want to participate in that. But it should be a great time. Go ahead and make plans. It is, I think it's at the Holiday Inn there in Stevens Point. So you can reach out and try to get reservations. But definitely make plans to try to come up and join us for that show. Again, Wisconsin Rivers, Woodcarvers.org is where you can find their website. And the CCA page, you can go out and check that out. Again, the CCA competition is in conjunction with the show. And again, we appreciate those guys allowing us to come up and participate in that. Want to remind you all next week we'll be having a meeting about creating shows creating clubs. So make sure you come back and join us next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Barry Bowers, who's on with us today, is going to come in and he'll get us started. And hopefully it'll be kind of a discussion, a conversation. So if you have questions, come in, be prepared to ask those questions, and we'll talk about it. And hopefully, as always, our goal is to further wood carving, share carving as much as we can, and try to get new people involved. So hopefully you all come back for that next Saturday. Again, Ron and Jerry, I just want to say thank you all for coming on. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. This has been the International Association of Woodcarvers, and we'll see you all next Saturday.
Let's say I'll start recording on everything, and we'll let you guys get a minute to prepare if you know what you want to say. But basically, the only requirements are to introduce yourselves, what you're here for today, and then welcome to the International Association of Woodcarvers.
Okay.
And I'll give you as much time. I'm gonna shut up, and if you mess up, do it again. It's no big deal. If somebody interrupts you and it causes a mess up, we'll do it again. Because bloopers are fun anyway. So I'm turning it over to you guys, and you can have at it.
And time for take two. Okay.
Perfect.
That was good, though. You're on the right track.
You got it right in there. So we'll get Ron in there. We'll be good too.
Do you want me to start or you want to start?
Good afternoon. My name is Ron O'Cray. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers. And this year, the Wisconsin River Woodcarvers has joined forces with the Caricature Carvers of America to have our show on September 19 and 20. 2000. Better to do another take.
Do it again.
This is why
we're warmed up now. Here we go.
Warmed up, ready to roll. So you got my outtakes for me. You got me bloopers. We're good.
Okay.
Right. I'm Gerald Trebatuski. I am my second year now of chairing this show. Ron has mentored me. He is an absolute expert. Someday, maybe I'll end up taking the whole thing over, but I hope not, because this show just goes way too smooth. And last year, it was a huge show. It was a huge success. We had well over 1,000 paid people come in just to view the show. And we're looking forward to way bigger numbers this year. Anyway, we have a lot of really good programs, a lot of good carvers. We have a lot of vendors, and we're just looking forward to doing it.
All right.
Perfect. That'll do. I'll make something of it. If I edit through, I might edit out just a little, put through just to get the length good for the beginning, because I know we'll talk about a lot of this too as we get into the discussion today. But guys, thank you so much, man. That's gonna be work. So know that we're recording this meeting because that's what we're gonna do. Blake, let me get you spotlighted, and we will get you. Don't forget to unmute. And same thing, Tony and Jerry, just don't forget to unmute when we go over to you guys.